Hello, everyone. I'm Joel Baird, the General Manager of Missoula Community Access Television.
And I'm Kim Anderson. I'm a board member with MCAT and the Associate Director of Humanities Montana.
We want to welcome you to our wintry edition of Missoula Live. It is January 25th. Oh, yeah? Okay. It's January 25th. This program is repeated after it's live today for 2 weeks. So that takes us into February. See, we're making progress.
We are.
Spring.
Next time everyone sees us, we'll be well into February.
Yeah, exactly. It's I put the green in the background on my shirt today.
Because he's an optimist.
Right. I was just tired of the gray.
I know.
So I have just a few MCAT points. Bill Pfeiffer is here for Mountain Line. We're going to talk about the zero fare impact. And maybe some of you haven't heard that riding the bus is free.
Yes.
And it
goes everywhere.
Right, and that there's fast lines called Bolt. Well, we'll talk about it. So I have to talk about my MCAT things.
Yeah, what's going on at MCAT?
Well,
can I say something first?
Yeah, sure.
Congratulations on that great article in the Missoula.
Oh my gosh, I was going to mention it, but now that you said congratulations.
Yeah, look.
We want to thank the Missoulian, Dylan Cato and Kurt Wilson were here on this past Saturday doing a great story on our Saturday drop-in animation workshops.
That is such a cute picture.
Yeah, it really is. And PJ comes a lot, right? I think Scott could attest to that. Yeah. Like, PJ is a regular. Anyway, I was glad he got in the paper and that, his parents were cool with it too.
Yeah.
So that's a consideration for you parents out there. When we have summer camps for kids, or any kind of publicity, if you don't want your kid on it, we would respect that immediately. But that said, there's a nice article. It's still online at Missoulian.com. Children produce stop-motion animation videos at Missoula's possessive MCAT. And this is true. If you have a child, know of a child, conduct about a child, between the ages of 9 and 13, you can bring them here to MCAT every Saturday from 1 p.m. to 5 p.m. for $10. Cheaper than babysitting, and they'll learn a trade.
Cheaper than going to watch a movie.
They will finally learn eventually how to take care of themselves by engaging in stop animation for others. But now, during childhood, they can do it for themselves. And if your kid is of a different age, 1 year in either direction, that's probably a little negotiable.
Oh,
It'll be up to Scott, Noel, and Mason. They are the activity directors for this. They're very experienced in our MCAT summer camps, and they might be able to tell, whether an older or a younger child could mix in that mush of
And I mean,
age.
I think one of the key things was it's very detail-oriented work, and it takes quite a bit of patience. So
probably
that's one of the age parameters. I personally don't think I'm mature enough to do it, but
I'm not. But a lot of the kids take breaks too.
Yeah.
So they'll be doing this activity for a while, and they're just kind of hanging out and socializing with other kids. Scott has that hoverboard thing, and so they go on that down the hallway.
Has their liability.
It's very good. So anyway, that's that story. Every Saturday, 1 to 5, MCAT 542-6228. You can call just to be reassured. It's drop-in. So I'm running all these radio ads, and I've had a lot of calls. They're like, can my kid come to the drop-in? I'm like, yeah, it's drop-in. And then going over and over. My kid's 11. Can he come? Yes.
Better to be safe than sorry.
Than sorry, that's right. Yes, so February the 10th, on the second Wednesday of every month, MCAT has a tour and training for kids or adults, or kids and adults together. It's an opportunity to see what equipment we have and what training we would offer you to make a program that could run on the MCAT channel. And we know people want more than that, and that segues me into the video on demand. But just to underscore this opportunity, the next second Wednesday is February the 10th, and this training starts at 5:30 p.m. And it is more like what's the word we didn't really want to say? Orientation. It just sounds too ostentatious, the orientation. But you would get a tour of the facility, you would go through the handbook that describes to you not only what we have, but also how you can use it cooperatively with other people, how you can share. And so Scott is showing you guys at home the MCAT web homepage of our website. So Scott, while you're here, can you show the people the video on demand? So here's channel 189. streaming channel and video on demand. So it actually is a double function page. If you want to watch what's currently on MCAT now, you click watch,
Right.
and then you click the play button, and then you're looking at what's currently on channel 189, because a lot of people are now saying, much to our dismay, I don't have cable at home. And we've been doing some surveys of people in the village, and one of the key things that's coming back from that survey is people say, I think MCAT's doing a great job. I wish I could see it at home, but I don't have
Right.
cable anymore. And they can actually see it from the website MCAT.org. So that's what that harangue is
besides
about.
streaming live, you can also, if it's 2 in the morning and you're bored and you say, I want to watch Missoula live,
Yeah.
you can do that.
That's the other
right?
part, the video
Yeah.
on demand. Another way of going at it, and this is very thorough, on MCAT.org, almost every local program that runs on the channels 189 or 190 automatically goes on the cloud, the Amazon cloud. And then this connects through an interface on our website for video on demand. There's a smaller amount of videos, but it's easier to say to people, go to YouTube.
Right.
Put in MCAT TV when you're in YouTube. Now, Scott is showing you at home what video on demand looked like on our website. That. So you can search this, and it will search the program, whether it's on channel 189 or 190. So you can put in details about the program or just a key word and come up, with a program.
Yeah, it's very easy to use.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's
I've
not that
typed in
bad.
City Club or whatever.
Yeah, and here's
boom.
the YouTube version.
Right.
It has popular uploads, but it's also quite searchable, though it has like a little magnifying glass right there that he's showing. And we try to put in keywords, what do you call it, tags, so people can find it. I'm sorry to go on about it, but apparently there's an attention deficit out there. And so the last two things I'm going to say, and this one is really off the cuff, I guess. So you said today's the 25th.
Fifth.
So tomorrow's the 26th. Wednesday, January 27th at the Roxy Theater, 718 South Higgins, at 5:30 p.m. If you want to see the zombie movie made by homeschoolers that are part of a group called Endeavor Homeschool, I'm anxious to see it. I'm going.
Yeah.
They were here. These kids were here for about 5 weeks or something.
Wow, I had no
Screaming
idea.
around, yeah. I mean, thanks to the patience enthusiasm of Christian Ackerman and John Nillis, who's kind of coming from the Roxy theater side of things, there's a finished movie of some sort. And it's called Zombies in Zootown. And there it's on the screen from the Roxy Theater. A homeschooler's guide to the zompocalypse.
Are they like high school age?
No.
Or- No, they're little guys
Gosh,
who love
some
zombies.
of them shouldn't even been let out of the house, and then others appear to have some maturity. But yeah, they
Baby
really.
zombies?
It's like a one-room schoolroom. It's like Little House on the Death Prairie or something, So they're like
That's so great.
kids in diapers hacking up teenagers. It's wonderful, and that's going to be a fundraiser for this homeschool group Endeavor.
nice.
So 2 days hence, or whatever it is, in terms of our rerun, the date, January the 26th. And of course, it'll be on the MCAT channel. And
January
on demand.
26th?
Is today the 25th?
Yes.
Oh, then it's the
Tuesday-
27th.
It's 27th, Wednesday.
Wednesday the 27th, 5:30 p.m.
Okay, got
I
it.
should stop talking. Kettle House apparently is going to do a fundraiser for MCAT.
Oh, cool.
On March 16th, I swear. That's good. It's the day before St. Patty's Day. 5 to 8 p.m. at the Kettle House. I guess half of their beer sales, if you yell MCAT as you drink it, will go to us.
Oh, well, I'll have
Yeah,
to
so
go.
we'll,
The whole
we'll
board will have to go.
underscore that
yeah.
later.
Okay.
So I've spent enough time not showing you Bill Pfeiffer. Has been
Sitting here
waiting so
patiently.
Welcome. Thank you for coming over and
Thanks
hanging
for
out.
having me. I appreciate being on.
You know it. So, what could you tell people about the effects on mountain lions ridership, for instance, of people not having to pay to ride the bus?
Yeah, we're just thrilled. We've had a really successful year. It's been our most successful year ever. In the last calendar year, we went zero fare January 5th of last year.
Happy anniversary.
Yeah, so it's just past our first year, and so far we've added 350,000 rides
Wow.
to the last total that we had.
Whoa.
which is about 38% increase. So 1.25 million rides in 2015.
Wow,
That
that's
is
incredible.
really amazing. How much did it cost before it was free?
You know, I don't actually
know either.
know. I mean,
Isn't it terrible?
It wasn't a lot.
No, it wasn't. It's under $2 a ride.
Yeah.
I was a Grizz card holder the
Right.
last time I was riding it frequently, so it was fare free for me at that time.
Yeah.
However, now that benefit is being spread to everybody in the community, not just a few people.
And I think
Thanks to our partners.
I think maybe it's more just the hassle of digging in your purse and all of that for some people, or people didn't know how it would operate, with the fare and everything if you haven't ridden mass transit a lot. And so now it's just you get on the bus, right?
Yeah, I mean, we've definitely we received a ton of messages in the last few weeks, thank you messages from our riders, and there are a lot of different reasons. I mean, for some people, yeah, a dollar or more every day is a lot of money for them.
Yeah.
And we've received messages from some of those folks, really just letting us know this really has been just wonderful for us. We had a young lady who works with people with disabilities who said that frequently people would cancel appointments because they wouldn't be able to find that dollar that day. And she said that it's just been amazing having a whole year where not one person has canceled an appointment because they didn't have bus fare. At the same time, we've also had people let us know that they're in a family that just weren't bus riders, and they just never really had the courage to check out the bus. And the fact that it was zero fare really just kind of inspired them to check it out. And now they're taking the bus everywhere. So we've seen, we like to say that Mountain Line benefits us all in Missoula, and we really think that that's true of zero fare. We've seen it raise ridership, not just with low-income people, but just across the board. So we're really excited. We're hoping to keep it going. It's definitely going to be going the next 2 years. So
Next 2 years it's funded.
yeah,
Clearly
Right.
funded.
so right now it's a 3-year demonstration project, and we'd love to keep it going after those 3 years. It's but as of right now, that's how we're looking at it, is how can we continue to grow the ridership. And our goal was to grow it 45% over 3 years, and we grew it 38%
Wow.
this year. So we're feeling pretty good.
Yeah, that
Well, you
looks
should.
very achievable then.
Well, if people are watching and it's suddenly striking them, and I know, word of mouth is a very powerful persuasive tool. So that if somebody said, yeah, I rode the bus and it was completely free, people are more like, that sticks in your mind, because a friend told you about this amazing free thing, or a
Right.
relative. But if people are watching, and let's say they know nothing about the bus, I don't know why they wouldn't, but what's a good place to start for them? Like, they're like, well, so where would I get this bus if I wanted to ride this free bus and all that?
Well, obviously, we do have a great website, www.mountainline.com.
Yep. Oh, there it is.
Yeah.
There you go. You can go there. If you'll see right there on the upper left corner of your screen, there's a trip planner, which is powered for us by Google Transit. That has recently been updated, so we've had our Google data updated. Sometimes Google doesn't have the most current information, and so they'll occasionally give you weird information.
Steer you wrong once in a while.
However, it's very recently been updated, so as of right now, it's pretty accurate. So if you're looking to travel somewhere, it's pretty easy to just type in where you're at and where you want to go, and it'll tell you how to walk to the nearest bus stop,
That's
which bus
cool.
to take, any transfers that you might have to take, and it'll also tell you then how to walk from the stop to your destination.
I haven't tried that. I want to try that.
Yeah.
We're
that's
really
really
trying to
amazing.
encourage multimodal transportation in Missoula. All of our buses have a bike rack on them that can take 3 bikes. We understand that a lot of people might take 3 different modes of transportation. They might walk, bike, and bus for a trip. So a good place to start is to check out our website. We also have our route schedules and route maps up there. The other thing you can do is we have a mobile app, handy dandy little mobile app on the phone here. Sorry, I never know what.
You're on this camera, and Scott, can you zoom in?
Yeah, so the mobile app's pretty nifty. It's just called Mountain Line Transit. You can get it on the Google Play or the Apple Store.
Oh, hold it up one more time
Yeah,
because
and see
you got to
what-
move it a teeny bit to be on the screen. Oh, that away.
There we go. Whoa, whoa. Back. There we go. Oh, there we go. Perfect.
There it is. Okay.
Wonderful. So
Sorry.
you can see you can track a bus in real time, which is pretty neat.
You mean each of those dots are buses?
Well, each of the dots is a stop, and
Oh,
then
okay.
the actual bus is the little bus icon.
Oh,
It'll show you
okay.
which direction the bus is going. It'll show you can tap on a stop like I just did, and it'll allow you to set a notification for 3, 5, or 10 minutes. So if you're hesitant to walk out in the cold, you can set a reminder to let you know when the bus is getting close.
Okay,
so
yeah.
you can
That's so
get there.
cool.
So the app's pretty neat. It's free. It's a free app, free to download. You don't have to purchase it. So the app is a good place to start. And I would say the third place I'd start is, because it's zero fare, you can just get on the bus. So
Yeah.
don't be afraid. Every bus goes in a circle eventually.
Oh, so you could just
So-
ride.
Hey.
the
And none of
line.
our buses, none of our routes are really much longer than 30 or 45 minutes. So, worst comes to worst, if you've got some free time, you'll be fine going around in a circle.
Have an
Isn't that cool?
adventure.
But that's kind of what I've
yeah.
done since I've come
Yeah.
to for the bus. Is I'm going to check out this bus and see where it goes. The two buses that I think are probably our most popular buses are Bolt routes.
And they come every 15 minutes,
Yep,
right?
every 15 minutes. That's a great thing, just because if you miss one, you don't have to wait that long for another one. And it makes people's lives a lot more convenient when they don't have to check so much.
Right.
And so routes 1 and 2 are those Bolt routes. Route 1 goes from downtown to the university, and then goes down South Avenue to the Southgate Mall, where it then turns into the Route 2 Bolt route. It leaves Southgate Mall, goes north through my neighborhood, the Franklin to the Fort neighborhood. Then it goes up to North Reserve. So Target, if you're trying to get to Target to do some
Yeah.
shopping, it's a great one. And then it circles back around through the west side, back downtown. So that whole lap takes under an hour to do on the bus. And there's one every 15 minutes, so 4 times an hour you have a bus. So it's really convenient if you take a bus to Target, for example, you do some shopping, you don't have to be so worried about whether, if it's only one bus an hour, it'll be a lot more
Right.
difficult
Yeah,
to
no
catch the bus.
doubt.
But it's really easy to just kind of go somewhere and catch the next bus. And we also have late evening service on 1 and 2 and Route 6 and 7 as well. And that runs till 10 p.m. So if you're looking to go downtown to have dinner, it's pretty simple to hop on a bus and hop on a bus home. I've realized that I have about 2 hours to play with bus riding at night, so it's a perfect amount of time to
Yeah.
see some friends, have a bite to eat, and,
Yeah.
then take a ride home. And if you've got kids love the bus. There's no
Right.
one who loves the bus as much as kids do, and a lot of our young people in town are really utilizing zero fare now. There's a lot of parents that are really thankful, because if you've got 3 or
yeah.
4 kids, it's really tough to get them all to where they want to go at the same time with practices, lessons, all
Oh,
those
if it's going to be the car solution
Yeah.
for after
I mean, I
school.
would have put my 12-year-old on a bus, no problem at all.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
So, it's just a really, we're really thrilled with the service. And what we're really doing right now is trying to thank our 14 community partners who are providing this service.
That's right, because zero fare is being
Underwritten
underwritten,
by
right?
them.
It is.
Yeah.
We kind of a news flash for public transit is fares never meet the entire cost of transit.
Yeah.
So it's about 9% of our budget or so was made up of fares. So that's what these partners are providing by sponsoring the service.
I didn't realize it was that low a percentage.
Yeah, it's really not too much. Most of our funding is split between local and federal sources.
Right.
But Missoula loves their bus company. Missoula voters actually voted to establish the bus
Yeah.
company back in the 70s, and over 35 years now we've been in service, and we're just thrilled to have the support of the community. So.
That's great, Bill.
Yeah.
Did you want to name them all from your phone?
Yeah, we could do that.
Because Scott's saying we got to move along.
It's important to acknowledge your
Yeah,
partners.
it is important, and we're going to be announcing a new community partner tomorrow. I can't spill the beans on that just yet.
Okay.
So tune in to check out the Missoulian tomorrow. Check out your.
Oh,
resources.
good.
Hopefully, you'll be able to read about it, and also we'll definitely have something up on our website announcing that.
Oh, so this is a teaser.
So yes, it is a teaser, but our 14 community partners currently are the Metropolitan Planning Organization, ASUM Transportation, Community Medical Center, Missoula County, Homeword Incorporated, the University of Montana, Missoula Aging Services, Missoula County Public Schools, the Missoula Downtown Association, the Missoula Parking Commission, the Missoulian Newspaper, St. Patrick's Hospital, Southgate Mall. So
Thanks to all of
thanks to
them.
all of these organizations. We're all riding the bus free of charge for these 3 years. So we're really thrilled that they were willing to benefit the community in this way.
Well, congratulations on such a
Yeah,
huge
congratulations.
first year of Zero Fare.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
We're pretty happy.
Yeah.
That's great. Well, and come back and tell us in progress report anytime
We'll
you
do,
want.
yeah,
Right.
yeah, I'm
Or
all
Scott's
about it.
show.
I've been on
He
Scott's
needs-
show.
yeah, he needs more
Excellent.
guests.
But I don't know whether I have for Mountain Line. But
Okay.
I've definitely been on Scott's show.
Drop in anytime.
Great. Is that
Well-
a drop in?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a drop in.
Okay.
But call first.
Yeah, call first because you don't want too many guests.
Okay, great.
Okay, we'll be right back. We're going to show you a new PSA.
Ooh,
Because I
good.
gave them a bunch from Missoula Aging Services or...
One of our Zero Fare partners.
Yeah, one of the
Oh,
Zero Fare
yeah.
partners. So that it could be that one. And then maybe when we come back, Scott, I'll talk about Jack Kohlberg and you could show that next time. Okay, we'll be right back.
Thank
Birthdays
you.
come and go, each year adding up to a lifetime full of extraordinary moments. At Missoula Aging Services, we promote the independence, dignity, and health of older adults. We are ready to help connect seniors to the help they need. Knowing you've got friends to support you, each birthday can be special. See how we can help. Call 728-7682 or log on to MissoulaAgingServices.org.
Buckle up, Montana. Life is a ride you want to stay on. Send a buckle up reminder to a friend at plantolive.mt.gov.
Sergeant Greg Amis with the Missoula Police Department. I'd like to talk a little bit about something I see downtown routinely, and that is pedestrians crossing against the pedestrian heads. So I'd just like to explain what is actually legal. You cannot begin crossing in the crosswalk when it's either flashing and in the countdown or solid red. The only time it's legal to begin crossing in that crosswalk is when the white crossing sign is displayed. What the countdown is for, and the only thing that that's there for, is to tell you how much time you have to finish crossing the street, presuming that you started when it was legal to do so.
I'm Montana Hope.
I am Montana Hope.
I am Montana Hope.
For the last 30 years, the Montana Hope Project has been granting wishes to Montana children who face life-threatening illnesses.
I'm Montana Hope.
To make a donation and help their wishes come true, please visit montanahope.org.
Oh, wow. Oh, we're back. I think Scott was showing something as a ballot judge. And a teeny bitty says,
Yeah.
Rebecca Connors is going to be here
Yes.
eventually in the show. So I guess we'll show it then.
Right.
About how people can become election judges.
But first,
Yes, Brendan Moles is here from Homeword. Homeword.
Yes.
To talk about a number of things, right? One of which, too, is the getting ready for home ownership.
That is correct.
Okay.
Well, Homeword offers a monthly homebuyer education class. That's 9 hours, and it's taught every month, once a month, and it's usually taught over the course of 3 evenings in 3-hour segments. And then every quarter we do a full-day Saturday class for those that cannot attend a 3 3 consecutive hour evenings.
Right.
So we kind of mix it up a little bit.
Yeah.
And I facilitate the class, but I have professionals within the community that come in and assist me with educating these consumers, hope to be home buyers, in the process of home ownership.
It's a wonderful
Yeah.
opportunity.
Education is power.
Right.
After you were here last time, like 2 weeks later, I was talking to a younger couple, and they were very excited because they were signing up for home ownership workshops.
That's wonderful.
And I thought, oh, I know about that now because I talked to Brandon. So when you say professionals who help you in these sessions, these are people in banking, finance?
Absolutely, Kim. It's we have lenders come in and do this lending segment. We have realtors come in and do their segment. We have a home inspector, a escrow officer from a title company, a home insurance agent. So I facilitate the class, and there's a couple segments I do myself. We have a credit counselor as well. So these are the ones that are the experts. You know, I know enough to get myself into trouble. You know that little.
Yeah, don't we all?
too.
Yeah.
You know, just enough to, come
Right.
back and bite me. But so I rely on the professionals in the community and the volunteers out there, and they actually volunteer their time once a month, and it's a mix. I have a great pool of people, so I may ask somebody to present once a year, maybe twice a year at the class. But so it's from the community, and they come in and they volunteer their time to help educate people to become successful homeowners.
So great. I mean,
It
because
really is.
Missoula is a challenging market, isn't it?
Oh, it's incredible. I don't even know what the median price of a home in Missoula anymore. It just seems to grow and grow. Though it is funny, on a side, I was just reading an article today in the New York Times about, the big ski area down in Colorado, that big areas. People are commuting 40 to 60 miles to get to work because the median price in Jackson Hole, Wyoming, has gone up 24% this last year to $1.2 million is the median price for a home in Jackson Hole.
Oh my gosh,
Median
1.2
price.
Median price, the average price, $1.2
Wow.
million, and it went up 24%. I mean, Missoula is not that type of market, but it is a difficult market to get into and obtain home ownership.
Yeah.
And we do have a large service industry in Missoula where a lot of people are earning, just above minimum wage, but it's still a struggle.
And combined with that, rental prices are fairly high. I mean,
Yes.
that's the hard thing when you're trying to save for a down payment as a first-time home buyer, and you're paying high rents, to get through this time.
And there's a lot of stuff people can learn about, right? They can learn about being pre-qualified when
Yeah.
they're going to look at mortgages. They can learn stuff. I mean, we could throw out the little knowledge we know, just so the people at home be like, why do they have a big class about this? You know, how a lender might look at your income to debt ratio,
This guy,
how
why am I even here?
Brilliant.
Well, right. But just to give people at home a sense of, well, what's this class going to be all about? Like implications of having a lot of credit cards versus having a core
Yeah.
few. How much should you pay, for a realtor? What about a short sale? What does a short sale mean, and how long could that paperwork take?
Joel,
Just buzzing them out.
I
right?
think I'm
So
going to be out of a job
people
Yeah.
at
shortly.
home could say, short sale? Maybe
Are
I better go to
there-
that class.
Are there any other kind of general misconceptions or issues besides what
Well,
Joel
Joel's
just
absolutely right. I mean, the class sets 42. That's the maximum we can hold in our facility. And I don't know, it's full every single month, and it's
Wow.
reserved. You can register online at our website, www.homeword.org.
There it is.
There.
Yeah.
And you can register there, and there's a little process, and register and pay online. It's a small fee, $25 for an individual, $40 for a household, and the household can be you, mom, your brother, your sister. We don't limit it to 2 people as a household. But we see people come through there that become homeowners, maybe not right away. You're absolutely right. They know the process. They know the steps. They get to know the terminology and the advantages and disadvantages. But maybe 2 or 3 years down the road, after they've set some goals for themselves, they're obtaining home ownership. The one service that we do offer that I'm very passionate about is the pre-purchase counseling session that we offer. That's a free service. All our counseling services at Homeword, whether it's home ownership, pre-purchase, post-purchase, or foreclosure counseling, which is another service we offer, all our counseling services are totally free. And typically with me, it's a 2-hour session, sitting down, pulling a credit report, reviewing the credit report, going through loan scenarios to see what the debt-to-income ratio And the PITI, the actual house payment, which is principal and interest, property taxes, and home insurance, how does that translate into an actual purchase price? Where are you looking at? So it's a somewhat like a pre-qualification that you mentioned, Joel, but it's sitting down with me in an informal basis. A pre-qualification usually takes place with a lender.
Yeah.
But we can look at your credit, look at loan scenarios, and then look at a budget, because lenders are going to base your qualification on gross income. And gross is not what we take home and put in the bank every month.
Yeah, right.
We take home net income. So we look at a budget and make sure that the anticipated house payment that you're projecting is okay with the budget. And you hit another nail on the head, Kim, when you were saying rents. I mean, a 2-bedroom apartment in town now is like $900.
Yeah.
$900 is pretty close to getting you into a starter home. Most people, when they're looking at purchasing a home, they are looking at the single-family detached home with the picket fence and the swing in the back and the big lot, two-car garage, basement. That's not reality in this market. I mean, we need to start somewhere. So we look at a starter home, which is not quite your ideal home. Statistically, people are purchasing homes every 5 or 7 years and turning them over, whether their income's improved, equity's in the house, and they can move on to a bigger home for them, or they're downsizing because everyone's flew the nest, so to speak.
Right.
That's a good point, that people can get into homes and work the equity up so that this everyone complains, the housing market is crazy high. To be part of that joy, you can become a homeowner, and then your home will be worth more 5 years later. And so for particularly for people that are like the working poor, or they're getting by, they can become capitalists too. And I think it's very important to consider that, because that's what it's about. It favors people that own property. I know, because I do. And my taxes are lower because I'm paying not rent but interest on my mortgage, and that's tax deductible. A big difference between paying.
If you can itemize, yes.
Yeah. I mean, the system is kind of weighted to encourage homeownership.
And I have people that have been homeowners in the past that are been out of the market for a while that come to class. I have people that are homeowners now looking to perhaps change their lifestyle to come through the class. So it's and there's no qualifications other than have an interest. And we also offer a financial fitness class every month, and that's totally free, which is also a 9-hour class, which is taught, as I said, 3 consecutive 3-hour evenings, or once in a while they do an all-day Saturday class, to go through budgetary skills and learn some other information out there to become not only maybe a successful homeowner down the road, but just to better yourself financially.
Oh, that's
a great idea. And I don't think there's anyone who could say, I've got a great handle on that.
Yeah, I've got that.
Yeah. I've got a great handle on my spending.
No, my eyes like went, oh my gosh, I should go to that.
It's totally free, and actually we incentivize it where we give, I believe, a $10 or a $20 gift card to whether it's a good food store or Fresh Market or somebody in town. So it's nice per household.
That's really good. That would be quite a come to Jesus thing for me.
Yeah.
I'd be like, well, I'm just spending it like water. I don't know what's wrong with me. And then, going to the class, it'd be a bit of reality, like going to an AA meeting or something.
I think for a lot of people, first of all, it's something that most of us procrastinate about, and we don't like to think about, and it's stressful. And so no matter how much money you make or don't make, you spend up to the level you have, or then you go farther.
Yeah.
So
let me throw a twist out to Joel and see, not to put you on the spot, but he's the one that seems to have this knowledge. Do you know what utilization ratio is?
I do not.
As it relates to a revolving trade line, do you know what revolving trade lines are?
No.
We need to go.
RTL.
Revolving trade line is a credit card. That's a revolving trade line.
Oh, credit card.
Utilization ratio relates to a credit card. And so the magic for a credit score, 30% of your credit score is based on your utilization ratio. So you mentioned before about having a number of credit cards.
Yes, because I was told, if you have, that lenders will, if you have 5 credit cards, they're going to assume you owe, money on each and every one of them, whether you use them or not.
That is,
so that
to some extent,
a bad profile to have lots of credit cards.
Yes and no. I mean, 5 is okay, and when you get upwards of double digit, that's probably a little trouble.
A flag goes off.
But utilization ratio, per your credit score, you never want to access more than 30% of that credit limit. So if you have a $1,000 credit card, you never want to carry a balance or charge more than $300.
Wow.
So it doesn't mean you have to always carry a balance on a credit card, but if you are going to carry one, keep it below 30% of the limit on that card.
Very good idea, see?
See?
Didn't know that.
A helpful hint
I knew,
here on
I
the
had a
show.
little fraction where someone had told me, they'll charge you, it'll affect your credit score if you have lots of credit cards. But you're saying, not so much. Maybe back in the day when they couldn't track
But
us.
don't keep your limit, your balance
Yeah.
up there at your limit.
So it seems like you're kind of reckless. Like, let's say you had $20,000 worth of credit and you're carrying 15, or like,
And you're just
this
paying the
percent-
minimum
Correct.
off.
And they
yeah.
look at that individually as well as aggregate. So take, for example, your $20,000 in credit card limits
Right.
on 5 cards, say $4,000 each, and you have one card that's at $3,000, but all the rest are 0. Aggregately, your $3,000 to $20,000 limit, that's wonderful. You're below 30%, which would be $6,000. But your one card, where you have a $3,000 balance on a $4,000 limit, you are hurting your credit because you're above that 30% threshold.
Yeah.
So you do want to look at it both ways. And we really conservatively say, take it on an individual basis, because if you take it that way, then aggregately, you'll be okay.
Right. So
Lots to learn.
It's a new year. We should all be signing up for a class of some sort.
Yes. Either home ownership or budgeting.
Right.
Once you've made it, then you've got problems.
And remind us again of when the next you can sign up at any time.
You can sign up at any time. We have a class in February, which is the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th, but that's full.
Yeah.
It was
Oh,
full
it's
like
full.
a week and a half, 2 weeks ago.
Wow.
We have an all-day Saturday one in March, on March 12th, I believe. And then in April, it's usually either the first or second week of the month, the full week of the month, that we have our home buyer education class at Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday evening.
Where are the classes held?
Held at 1535 Liberty Lane at the corner of Broadway and Russell, where the old Liberty Lane
Yeah.
bowling alley used to
And
be.
now
remember
it's
it well.
Solstice.
It's the Solstice
And the
building.
Equinox.
And the Equinox.
Equinox,
We're in
right.
the Solstice building.
Okay.
That's great.
And you can go online to www.homeword.org. My New York accent, sometimes people want to put ward, W-A-R-D. It's
Right.
W-O-R-D.
Right.
Gotcha. Homeward. All right. Well, we better move on, Brennan.
Yeah.
Thank you
Thanks
so much.
for offering this to the
And I
community.
feel like I learned something.
I did too. I did
about
too.
the
I'm going to go
credit
back and
card
look at my credit
utilization
cards. Yeah.
percentage. Yeah, I know I'm doing something wrong right now. Well, folks, on a serious note, did you have that clip ready, Scott, for Jack? So a longtime MCAT producer, Jack Kohlberg, recently passed away.
That's right.
And he had made many, many shows down here, Jack did. A lot of them were kind of a guitar. He'd come in here in the studio. He'd play the piano, he'd play guitar, he'd bring drummers in.
Yeah.
He was in a lot of Christian Ackerman's movies over the years, too. And so Christian put together this little 2-minute tribute to Jack Kohlberg, and we'll just offer it to you now. You viewers at home all will get the next guests for
I want to
Missoula
see
Live.
this.
Okay, yeah, here it comes.
Christian Ackerman has been making films since he was in high school, and I saw him digitally enhancing and remastering a lot of movies that he filmed when he was a teenager. And I was impressed with that. And so when he asked me if I wanted to be in a movie that he'd written, and he described what it was about, and he told me and what he wanted me to be. He said he wanted me to have my hair hanging down and be a judge. And I said, well, that'd be it. And he says, you need to wear glasses. So I had some Buddy Holly reading glasses I put on. I climbed up a ladder, and he made it look real, made it a sense of surreality. And one thing that was really interesting, he said, now don't worry about the script. Christian Ackerman said, you've read the script, now we're just going to converse the general intention of the words. And that made it a lot easier. Well, he had built this beautiful electric chair out of some barnwood from Danielle, his fiance's father's farm. And so there was a really nice, surreal little electric chair made out of barnwood. And we used duct tape and electrician tape. It's right there. I mean, right there, that says it all. Catastrophic denouement. One of my favorite moments is when we first started it, and I fall through the ceiling as his English night. One of my favoriteest moments is, I guess, was playing Grant, the evil cowboy, and getting the chance to, and actually, What was really nice was having my son work with them and watching him do a take, and I was impressed with the professionalism. What can I say? There's 1, 2, 3, 4 movies that I've done with a crazy guy from California that had a dream, and he's fulfilled a dream. I played Dieter, and it was a fun part because I got to be this redneck, which I already am already. So it wasn't very much of a stretch, but it was fun. I enjoyed being Dieter. I enjoyed the last part when I was on a Harley saying, "Yeah, mañana, mañana."
Oh, we're back. So we're here with Rebecca, Connor, and Bradley Seaman. They're from Missoula County Election Office. Welcome. Thank you for coming
thanks
over.
for the invite.
You know it. So you are on the prowl for election judges.
We need some folks to help us on election day, staffing polling places and the fairgrounds, just to help support the election process mainly for the primary and the big federal presidential election this year.
Yeah. The primary in June?
June 7th.
Okay. Right. What do these poor election judges do?
Lucky citizens.
Yes, what are these lucky citizens? And Kim and I are going to do it because we said we're of an age where it's time to give
It's back. Our turn.
I feel like I should give you guys a hug.
Do we train? I mean, what do we do?
Right.
Yeah, so there is some training involved. Training is held in the month of February, and at the very minimum, it's about 3 hours worth of training. Your time is compensated for coming to training, and then you're essentially put on a roster to pull from to place workers to work on election day. And we do have some mail ballot elections that are smaller throughout the year, such as the annual May school election. We don't need quite as many election judges for that, but it's the big ones like the primary and the presidential. And this year, with a huge presidential election, that's when everybody loves to vote. Voter participation is at its highest, meaning that's when we need the greatest support.
Right, because sometimes people, the voters have lost track of their registration. Kim and I were reminiscing about when we were young and irresponsible, we would go to our polling places and
not know our precinct, and not know,
And that's where, so the term election judges, it sounds kind of intimidating. Like you see, we're in robes and we're banging gavels and stuff like that. You know what I mean? But that's not really the...
What do election judges do?
I'll let Brad explain.
So election judges can serve in a ton of different capacities. We have election judges who serve in multiple different roles, some of them requiring different levels of training. But for your basic election judge, you will be greeting voters when they come into their polling place, making sure that they get to the right table if there's a couple of tables, and understand the process. You'll be stamping official ballots, marking down that here's your official ballot, explaining how to vote, black in the oval completely inside there. Or the scanner judge, everybody's favorite, who gives you the I voted sticker. Make sure that your ballot gets processed. Then, poll book judge and polling place managers are two people we're always looking for too. These require just a little bit more training. Poll book is keeping track of the ballot numbers to make sure that every ballot that we've got is used correctly, goes to the right person, gets voided out if there's a mistake, and that nobody ends up with 2 ballots. So it's an incredibly important job.
Sure.
And polling place managers really help make sure that your polling place runs smoothly. So when you're the voter and you go in, that's the one who you don't notice because they're doing such a good job. You get right to your desk, you get your ballot, you're ready to go and you voted, and they're the one who helps make sure that that process runs really, really smoothly. We always have a huge need for polling place managers to really help make sure that if there's a question that comes up, there's somebody who can answer it, help make sure that the flow feels right.
Sure.
Oh, that doesn't sound that hard, though. It takes a little more training than the other positions you described. I remember going in, and there was someone that was acting kind of like a concierge, like, oh, yeah, okay, step up here, and that kind of thing. And then, as Kim and I said, the majority, and maybe we're remembering from the 80s and 90s, of the workers were gals. And when I went to Senior Citizen Center for most of my polling, once I got settled in my little corner. You went to Paxson. And there would be someone that would look at your ID, and then they're always flipping, through the roster to make sure you're there.
Do you know, okay, I just have to tell this little story. My polling place judge who who had you sign on the line.
Oh, yeah, that's
was my third grade teacher.
Oh, my gosh.
Beth Wright, and she was still doing it. She was in her 80s, 90s,
Yeah.
And she remembered me, and she liked my husband. She thought I married well. It was great.
Yeah, and it can be really fun to serve in the polling place, because if you're in the polling place of your community, you may see your neighbors come in.
Yeah, exactly. I always look forward to it.
And it's really pretty fun. It can be a little bit of a longer day. You'll want to start.
Yes, we'd heard about this long day earlier.
So we want to set up and get things ready before the polls open. Polls open at 7 a.m. And then throughout the day, you see a big rush right when the polls open. People on their way to work want to get in and vote and get it out of the way. Then you'll go throughout the day. You'll see a little lunchtime rush and a break mid-afternoon. But we need to have the polling place up and running all the way up till 8 o'clock when the polls close. So it can be a really long day to start at 7.
So there's a one shift.
There's one shift, but we offer a couple of split shifts.
Oh, you do?
Because a lot of the times it doesn't work with family, it doesn't work with your work,
It's
or
hard,
whatever it may
But your
be.
preference is for someone to see out this election day like a true
And it's
stout warrior.
It's a great marathon run, and at the end of it, you probably feel pretty similar.
Coffee and donuts involved here? Or
A lot of times they're in the school, so what you'll see a lot of times is, hey, we've got coffee and stuff in the teacher's lounge before the school gets going. A lot of the times you're kind of like, pack a lunch. I know at our polling places that we were at, everybody would be like, oh, I've got some cookies, I've got some of this, and you kind of trade it around, keep it going. We really love it when people work all day, because it helps with that flow throughout the day.
Continuity and everything,
making sure that, and all of our numbers, they all line up right.
And if there is a problem, the same person has been there, and that makes sense.
No, that does kind of make sense.
How many positions?
I heard they need a lot.
Countywide? How many are there?
A lot. We need at least over 500 for our polling places.
Wow.
We have 28 different polling locations. Some of those polling locations have multiple precincts within them that require a staff of about 30 or more. So we do need a lot. And then we've realized over the years with same-day voter registration, we really need election judge support at the fairgrounds too.
Sure.
So for our counting center, for just guiding flow of traffic of people and having that support there, we need probably another about 200 at the fairgrounds.
Wow, to the fairgrounds.
Yeah.
You want to do that? Do we get to pick?
So the way that we'll do is we'll get, kind of coming through and say, hey, for this election, for our June election, we're going to need 600 people. For our November election, we'll need 800 people.
I heard 800.
Yeah,
so
we need a lot.
we're pushing, we need to get everybody through training coming up next month.
Yeah.
Right.
And in training we say, hey, we'd love it if you could get trained to the maximum extent of what you'd like to work, and know that we'll do our best to fit you at your local polling place if we can. But a lot of the times we're really pushing and saying, in order to make sure that everybody can vote effectively, we need that little bit of flexibility to say, I'd love to be a poll book judge, but I could work as a scanner judge.
Yeah, because the point is you're volunteering where you're needed.
Yeah.
And so there's a little bit of like, this is what I'd love to do. I'd love to work here. But we really try and make it a push for, hey, we got to cover our bases in all 28.
Sure.
I understand.
So how can we sign up?
Yeah, what's the next step?
What did Joel and I do next?
Yeah, what have we done? Do we go to MissoulaVotes.com?
MissoulaVotes.com has a lot of information. MissoulaElectionJudge.com will take you directly to a little more info about the different roles and the trainings that's required.
MissoulaElectionJudge.com.
Yep.
Okay, because we have Missoula Votes up on the screen, but there's both. Okay.
Missoula Election Judges, and it's got an online sign-up form where you can create an account and sign up for the different classes. at this point in time, we are almost halfway to our goal.
Oh, that's great.
That's
See, so this
great.
isn't pie in the sky. You have 400, you have 250, 400, or...
So right now we're at about 380 this morning.
That's
and,
great.
Yeah.
you know,
for you.
we shoot for that 800 goal, knowing that if we get 800 people in and trained,
You're in good shape.
we're going to do okay, because not everybody could do
Yeah.
in June for the primary,
Yeah.
or maybe gone for the general, or we may have like scheduling conflicts, different things come up. So we're doing okay. At 400, we're doing pretty good.
Yeah,
we're
you are.
definitely feeling the push to get the rest of the people in there, and it just
Well,
means
that's
that
true, because
elections run
June
smooth.
is sooner than you think.
Yeah.
When you say the train's in February, June's 4 months away.
I know.
And
Wow.
we need everybody by law to get certified every 2 years with Secretary of State's training.
Oh, okay. So you
so
have
that you're
to keep.
trained in to be an election judge, and that's why we're doing such a big push right
Sure.
now, is to make sure that we get everybody trained in, so we have that pool to pull from.
Okay.
Good luck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Absolutely.
you know, MCAT's been working with this office, election office, to make videos.
Oh, training
And,
videos?
Yeah, is
Yeah.
it training video? I
Training
don't know
vid-
what it is.
We are
actually.
so excited. Those training videos will be used across the state to train
Yeah, they've
all
been
of
used
the election
across the
judges.
state.
Oh my gosh, that's so cool. I'm
Yeah,
very
Rebecca
proud
and
of
Ron
us.
have been doing
Yay.
it. Bradley have been
Yeah.
in on it.
That's neat.
So we have one in the can. I guess we'll go out with, because we need to get Thomas out here.
Right, we have
before
one
the
more
hour's
guest,
up.
right.
Because he's from Boy Scouts of America. You don't want to fool around with that.
Yeah.
And say sorry. No
Not
time
always
for you.
prepared, though.
Well, we'll be right back. Thank you guys for coming
Thanks.
over
Yeah,
and
good luck.
conscripting us for democracy.
That's right.
So here's one of the clips MCAT has been working with the elections office on. And we'll be right back with Thomas from Boy Scouts of America.
The ballot judge's interaction with the voter could be considered the most critical. The ballot judge must ensure that the ballot number being provided to the voter matches the ballot number in the poll book, and must then stamp each individual ballot with the official ballot stamp before handing it to the voter. The stamp cannot be on any part of the stub and cannot cover up any race or oval area. The ballot judge gives basic instructions to the voter about where to go to mark the ballot and what to do after marking the ballot. For a primary election, the ballot judge must give specific instructions on voting only one party ballot and instructions on what to do with the unvoted and voted ballots. Again, a smiling face can do a lot to alleviate any voter anxiety at this point and helps to make the voting experience a pleasant one.
To vote, you'll darken the oval completely using the pen provided in the booth. Follow the instructions here on the ballot. After you've voted the ballot, place it into the secrecy envelope and leave the stub exposed for removal. The M100 scanner will detect an overvote or a blank ballot, but it will not inform you if you've not voted in every race. You'll take your voted ballot to the scanner judge to submit your ballot for tabulation.
Thank you. The ballot judge is an important component to the voting process. They coordinate the issued ballot number with the poll book judge. They have the important job of validating the ballot by stamping official ballot. And finally, they provide the voter with instructions before stepping into the voting booth. If you have a strong voice and the ability to multitask, this may be the job for you.
Okay,
Here
we're
we
back.
are.
We're back here with Thomas D. Huether. He is with the Boy Scouts of America. Thank you for waiting,
Welcome.
Thomas.
Thank you.
And your office is right downtown. I didn't know there was an office for the Boy Scouts of America right downtown.
It's one of our field offices. We actually have 5 in the state. The state of Montana is pretty much our Montana Council, and so to operate and bring scouting to the different communities, we have different field offices, or the different district executives work outside their homes. So we've got one right here in downtown Missoula that I just became a part of.
Oh, you just started working there. That's great.
Yes.
Exciting.
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit about what's going on with Boy Scouts of America and what it looks like today to be a Boy Scout.
Okay. Well, here in the Montana Council, we service over 8,000 youth. in the Montana Council. That's out of the 54 of the 56 counties. There's 2 of them that aren't part of the Montana Council, but we do have over 8,000 scouts. That's Cub Scouts, Boy Scouts, venturing, and exploring, which covers 7-year-olds on the way through 21.
Wow.
And then in our venturing and exploring programs, it's also co-ed. So we do have male and female participants in our scouting program.
And now that's something I didn't know.
I didn't know that either.
Changed. That's cool.
Many people don't know about the venturing or exploring programs.
No, I don't either.
And so we're definitely trying to get that word out there to youth that may be interested in the adventures and outdoor activities, letting them know that we do have this option that they can be a part of a co-ed, and it's really youth-driven for venturing. The youth get to plan and participate in their programs. They can do a generic high adventure with the backpacking, the canoeing, kayaking, those general aspects, or they can do more hobby-based. So if they're interested in just rifle shooting, they can do specifically into shooting sports, or backpacking. They can do specific on backpacking, but venturing is something that hasn't been around very long, and we're just trying to get those numbers up and get more youth interested in what's going on. So like you said, a lot of people don't know about that co-ed program.
Yeah, it sounds great. Now, and this is for an older age level?
Yes, venturing is for 14 to 21, or have completed the 8th grade and they can be a part of it. Here in Missoula, we actually only have 1 venturing crew that operates, and they've been out there doing quite a few different things. So we here in the state of Montana, we actually don't have a whole lot of venturing in general, and so we're trying to reach that because we know that there are a lot of females that want to do those outdoor activities that get jealous of the Boy Scouts doing their camping.
Right.
This is the opportunity where they can be a part of the outdoor experience.
Yeah, that's a really great idea. You know, we got this website. You can see it on the screen there. And that's the Boy Scouts of America. I think it's the Montana one, but I'm not positive, right?
Yep, that is our Montana Council website.
Nice looking website.
It is, beautiful.
It's actually only been up for about a year and a half. We redesigned it. But on the website, you're able to find all the information about what scouting is, the different programs from Cub Scouts to Boy Scouts, venturing, exploring. It breaks down the different districts. So that if someone's looking in Missoula, they can actually go straight to the Mullen Trail district page and pull up some local information, contact information. And overall, it's just kind of a general go-to site.
Right.
Yeah, yeah.
So if you're a parent or you're a young person who's, looking to find the troop that would be nearest to you or that you could join, you'd go and you could find it on the website.
Right. You can go through the montanabsa.org. It'll take you to the bscout.org where you can put your zip code in. It'll pop up all the different Cub Scout packs, Boy Scout troops within the area, and you can send them a local information, which actually I get that email and I can help coordinate getting them signed up with a local unit.
Oh, that's
great. So you're the guy who makes the marriage.
And you've been here, so feel free to book MCAT. You can use the studio or the large space you saw outside. Okay. And if you found some other scouts that wanted to do like a public service announcement or some kind of program, even a live show once a month out of here about the activities.
Okay.
Yeah, that would be great.
We're always looking on ways to get our name out there. Growing up in the scouting program, one of the things I found is you really don't know that Boy Scouts exists anymore until you start talking to someone or they see the uniforms or the logos on our jackets, and then they start thinking, oh, the Boy Scouts, yeah, I remember being a Boy Scout. And so just getting the word out there, letting people know that we exist is one of our big focuses.
I got as far as Cub Scouts, in my youth. And then it seemed, because our youths were in the tumultuous 60s, so it was much harder, I think, to be a Boy Scout. Like, it just wasn't on the landscape of my high school, though it was in elementary school.
I think that when I was in high school, Boy Scouts were very active. And I know them now through popcorn.
Oh, yeah, of course. And the Girl Scouts do the cookies or whatever. But that is kind of true. But there is an interesting change. Co-ed activities. Also the venturing.
Outdoor and there's just the number of different kinds of activities is really mind-boggling. Is it still like that?
We do. We have tons of different activities. We're always adding more and more activities to our slate to try to cater to the needs of the youth. we're really developing STEM now, the science, technology, engineering, and math,
sure.
with robotics, fine arts. So we still have the old outdoor programs. We're also trying to reach kids with some of these newer programs as well.
And that's, I think, why Boy Scouts is so successful, is that they adapt to the needs and the interests of the time, which is great. So people should go to the website,
yes, it's
learn
right there,
everything they can about
montanabsa.org.
Boy Scouts of Montana, and you will get them signed up.
Yep, like I said, that's for the youth. We're always looking for adult volunteers as well. So we have our own district board that we operates, and we're always looking for new people to help us operate our district here. So they can either get information through the website or through my contact information, and we'll get them all worked up and signed up.
Great. Thomas, thank you so much for coming. I guess we've got to go.
Yeah, that hour flew by.
So thank you out there for watching this edition of Missoula Live. We'll be back in 2 weeks' time. So if you saw something like the Endeavor Wednesday, January 27th at 5:30 at the Roxy Theater, you may have missed your opportunity to see it, but it will be eventually on the MCAT channel. So for MCAT, I'm Joel Baird.
And I'm Kim Anderson.
Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.
Bye.